Philippine politics.
So, good evening, everyone. My name is Charisse Precious Mamalayan from UMS2 of Mexico, and in this video, we're going to conduct an one-on-one interview together with Ms. Rachel Ballesteros. She took legal management in Manila. So, without further ado, let's proceed to the interview itself.
The interview.
So, my question is, how justice system in our country may process?
In this part, she discussed the three branches of the government and their roles to connect on how the justice system in our country works and how it is processed.
Is of course mandated by the Constitution. The first is the executive, which is composed of the president and the vice president. And next is the legislative, which is composed of the upper and the lower Congress. It's the House of Representatives, and that's the Senate of the Philippines. And lastly is the judiciary, which is composed of the Supreme Courts and the lower courts. The lower courts are composed of the municipal trial courts, the regional trial courts, and for the Muslim there are Sharia courts, and the fourth is Sandigan Bayan, Court of Appeals, and Court of Tax Appeals. And for of course the judiciary, their purpose is to arbitrate courts. For them to arbitrate, of course, their mandate is derived from the Constitution, which is, of course, the very basic principle and the very basic rights of due process of law. The due process of law, the main principle of it is it hears before it condemns. That's not just a principle, but it is also a jurisprudence from the Supreme Court. When we say due process of law, of course, there are actual cases or controversy that happened. There are rights that was violated, and some of the times that we heard in our criminal law cases. So for example, there are violations that happen. There are murders or there are suspects. So when there are something like situations that happen, of course, killings, of course, there are certain parties interrogated. So there are suspects, there are victims, and such like that. So of course, before they arbitrate, of course, they allow these persons to defend their cases. They observe evidences, they observe or they allow witnesses to be testified in front of the court to be able to arbitrate with the right provisions of the law on how to apply it with the right jurisprudence. So and and that's how it goes. Of course, the proceedings, the pleadings, or something like that. It's all part of the system of the judiciary. Because of course, there are ministerial duties of um, the admin parts of the courts, and of course the judge, the clerk. Of course, it all takes um, it all takes a group of people and a system. Of course, the system are not just something that was implemented. Of course, their system are also mandated by the Constitution because, of course, these three branches of government are derived from the Constitution, which is what we use in place. Like, this is after the Marcos administration. That was after or that was in Cory's administration, and that's the I think the an overview of how the justice system works, because it all takes back to the Constitution, because of course the Constitution is the fundamental law of our land. So that's how the government, or that's how these three branches of the government works. Not all these three branches have the same functions, but their hierarchy is both equal. However, there are exceptions because when time of uh, the Marcos presidency, the first, of course, the first Marcos presidency, there is so-called constitutional authoritism, if I'm not wrong for the term, na the office of the president or the executive office has the power over the two branches, which is the judiciary and the legislative. But that's an exception, and that's override by our new constitution.
So that's it po for this interview. I really appreciate your answers and the way you share your insights, your knowledge to me. It is very informative to have a short conversation with you po. And thank you for your time to talk with me and to accept this invite to conduct interview with you po. Thank you po.
Thank you. Bye bye.